Hello, everyone, and welcome to Watching My Stories. I wanted to explain a little bit of why you're going to hear something sounding strange on our podcast today. I wanted to talk about The Handmaid's Tale, and I ended up giving a full synopsis of the 2 seasons to John since he's never watched it. And it took about an hour and 15 minutes, and when I was going back and listening to it, I decided it was super boring, so I cut it. So at about the 10 and a half mark, you're going to hear 10 and a half minute mark. You're going to hear me say the handmaid we're following is June Osborne. And then there's going to be a weird cut. And I'm going to start talking about the end of it, the end of the season, and going into then what I think about the whole show. So I just wanted to explain why that's a weird cut there. And then John and I talk about our favorite movie lines that we quote all the time. And then we also discussed Sandra Bullock and picked our favorite movies of hers, which is a new thing we might be trying in the future, picking an actor and then talking about our favorite movies of theirs. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and I'm glad you don't have to listen to me go on and on about the entire 2 seasons of Handmaid's Tale. But if you're not watching it, please go watch it. It's the best. And that's it. So thanks again for listening, and we will get started right after this quick promo.
Are you addicted to classic TV shows? Did you spend the 80s sitting in front of the boob tube? Then join us for TV Tangents, where we examine television of the 20th century with barely any contemporary context. Visit Shout Engine, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts, and look for TV Tangents.
Dhani watches a lot of television and movies. John does not. Listen in as she tells him about what she's watching, and he tries to make sense of it all. Welcome to Watching My Stories with Dhani and John.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to Watching My Stories. I'm Dhani.
I'm John.
And we're here. And we're both very sleepy.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
It's been a long week, and we leave for vacation tomorrow. So our brains have shut down a little bit.
Yeah, we've started coasting already. So.
Yeah, so I apologize about this. And of course, I pick Handmaid's Tale to talk about when I'm like...
Gosh, we're sorry.
I'm so sorry. But we're going to try and get through this. So anyway, it was a good week.
Yeah.
Looking forward to our vacation, and hopefully... on vacation, we're just gonna watch a bunch of TV. Is that a good vacation for people?
I think it is for us.
I know it is for us, but other people are like, why are they gonna watch TV on vacation?
Most people would hate the vacation with us. That's okay though.
We basically pick up, go to another location, and live our lives.
That's what we do. Yep.
Anyway, enough about that. Okay, so I think we are going to talk. Oh, you know what? I want to talk about that movie that I watched last night because I just want to put that out there. So there's this movie on Netflix called How It Ends. And I was...
I'm sorry.
And I was trying to find something to watch last night when I was going to bed. And it sucked me in. It's with Forrest Whitaker and Theo James. And it really did. It sucked me in. Like, immediately there's this apocalyptic something or other that happens on the West Coast. And they're in Chicago. Theo James's girlfriend, fiance, they were talking at the time, and the phone goes out and all this. And so Forrest Whitaker's this military guy and protective dad, and he says, we're getting in the car and we're going to go save my daughter, you know, that sort of thing. So as humanity would allow, in an apocalypse, people go nuts and they're horrible. And so as they're driving to Seattle, they come across all kinds of people doing horrible things. But at the same time, they're seeing really weird things happening, like crazy lightning storms. The compass is just spinning. There's no north. So, and all of the electricity now across all of that, the whole country is out. So I'm totally into it. You know, it's kind of intense. There's all this stuff going on. Forrest Whitaker breaks some ribs, so he starts to deteriorate a little bit, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, what is going on, right? What is this thing that's happened to the country?
Yeah.
So Theo James makes it to Seattle, and it's snowing, the ashes like from a nuclear cloud or a nuclear explosion or something. He gets all through Seattle, and he finds out his girlfriend is somewhere else. He goes to that other place. And a couple more things happen, and then like they're driving away from this ash cloud that is now chasing them, and there's like fire in it and all this stuff, and then that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Okay. So that's pretty much the report you gave me after about half hour in last night. The first bit you were talking about, and that sounded really interesting to me. I was like, boy, hope it's good. Tell me how it is, because that sounds like something I would like, And then it just...
Yeah, I realized I just told people how it ends. Well, the movie How It Ends should have told me how it ends, because they didn't tell me anything.
It's kind of an ironically titled movie, because the end just kind of happens and it really doesn't fulfill anything.
It didn't fulfill squat.
Yeah. So that's...
I was so... It was good right up until then. Like they could, if they had just done 5 more minutes, they could have turned on the radio, and finally we would have heard, because they've been trying the radio the whole time, and people are just out there going, I don't know what's happening, no word from the government, all that sort of stuff. They could have just, as they were escaping this ash cloud, whatever it might be, they could have turned on the radio to say, it's this, whatever they decided they wanted it to be. And that would have been satisfying. And I would be like, oh, that's a good movie. But no, they didn't give me that. I don't even know if they made it out of the ash cloud. Because one of the weird things was he had hitchhiked with another person who said, I'm going north to like Canada. And he was like, I heard that something with the air up there, they aren't affected. It kind of reminded me of the whole, going to water because the aliens don't like the water, or, The Happening or something like that. Or, so it was like, so that's where he says he's going to go after when they're escaping this ash cloud. And I'm like, so did the cloud catch them, or did they cross the border and all of a sudden the ash cloud? I don't know. I hate it when that happens.
Well, so that's very disappointing on a lot of levels, because I was looking forward to that, because that premise in that first half hour sounds like it's right up my alley. I like both Theo James and Forrest Whitaker. Sorry about Forrest's ribs.
Well, he dies with 30 minutes left to go in the movie.
Okay.
Which also bothered me, because I didn't think that. I thought he would at least find his daughter and then die. But they killed him off and there's still 30 minutes to go. I was like, hello?
Okay, so let me get this straight. Theo James... Did he ever find the girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said that. Yeah.
Sorry, I guess
that's the end, the two of them driving away from this ash cloud.
Sorry, I guess I lost interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that was How It Ends on Netflix. Go for it if you want.
So, as I mentioned before when you first told me this about an hour ago, my theory is the marketing department left off the question mark at the end. So, it wasn't so much how it ends, it was... How it ends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's that. I'm gonna leave.
One last thought about this whole thing.
Oh, great.
No. I've been thinking about this now.
Oh, okay.
The conversation.
This whole 30 seconds he's been wanting to say this.
I've had this thought for a whole minute so far.
Okay.
No, the conversation we had, I think it was last night when we were talking about this. When we were flipping through the channels and World War Z came on, and you know, talking about how
I always have to put it on if World War Z is on.
Yeah, I know. But if there's an apocalyptic event,
yes.
or there's something happens, humanity goes to crap.
Yes,
and everybody's just fighting everybody and that sort of thing.
Humanity is already crap. It just comes out when an apocalyptic event happens.
So here's my question: Does it break down in England as well? Because they're so polite and they're so proper. Are they going to start fighting each other?
Probably not the way we will here. No.
They'll be more civilized.
I'm sure. Yeah. And I'm sure they'll have some sort of order. They probably... I mean, it's a lot easier to control that many people than it is to control 330 million, right? That's part of the problem. And part of the problem is we are just horrible people.
Wow. Okay.
And that segues into The Handmaid's Tale.
Hey, speaking of horrible people.
Yes.
Here we go.
Okay. So, how to even begin? So, okay. John, when the first season came out, I tried to get John to watch it because, of course, it's the best television show out there. You watched the first episode.
I did.
And he goes, nope, not for me.
Nope.
But it is, and it's for everyone, and everyone should be watching it. So, okay, so the second season came out like 3 months ago or whatever. I watched it every week, and then this week, actually in like the last 3 days, I watched the entire second season again. So, and I did that with the first season before the second season started. Okay, so I'm just gonna see, I don't even know. It's just such a good show, and there's so much to talk about. So I'm going to warn people that I might get a little bit explicit. I might get a little bit political, religious, all those sorts of things, because I get very worked up when I talk about it, and it angers me so. So just either turn us off or
just bear with it.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of not pretend, but John hasn't seen it. So I'm going to describe to you the series and what it's about and kind of what they're doing. And then I'm going to get into the technical stuff that I love about the show.
So it's taken like 7 or 8 episodes, but we're finally getting into the premise of this podcast, which is Dhani watching her stories and then telling me about them and trying to get me to come along.
We haven't been doing that every week?
Well, a little bit, but this is true. I haven't watched it. I haven't seen it. So this is truly the case.
I've talked about a lot of things you haven't watched, though.
You have, but...
I have.
Well,
just like the movie I just talked about.
What movie? Oh, sorry.
That's my life, ladies and gentlemen. I live that 50 times a day.
Okay. In case we haven't said this before, I am widely accepted as having like the world's second worst memory. So I apologize. I actually didn't, I didn't mean that.
Yes, you did.
Well, I meant it, but I wasn't trying to be funny. It was genuine.
I know. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So
sorry about
I know
that.
you saw the first episode.
Yeah, but I don't remember a thing about it.
It's called The Handmaid's Tale. The main handmaid that we are following, and she is telling us her tale. Her name is June. Her name is June Osborne. Now, my sister was very angry about the ending because obviously we want her to escape.
Uh-huh.
But when I was watching it, of course I'm angry about that because I want her to escape. But I want a revolution. I want to see these people go down.
Well, yeah.
And one of the great quotes from the first season that she says is, if they never wanted us to be an army, they shouldn't have given us uniforms, and as you're watching the handmaids walk and she's saying that, you're like, hell yeah. And so now she knows there's this...
Can I get a hell yeah?
Now there's this Martha network that just helped her escape. There's a commander that kind of just did something. Like, there's people out there that could now really cause this revolution.
Yeah, okay.
So it's, I think we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the story. And I probably went on way too long about that. I'm very sorry. Because now I have to go on about the technical aspects of it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
Maybe this should be a 2-parter.
So I just have to say, this is, you guys have heard me talk about Queen Sugar. This is the same technically. It's so gorgeous to look at. And where I said with Queen Sugar, I could pause it anywhere and print it and hang it on my wall. You can pause this show anywhere, but I would never hang it on my wall because they're all nightmare visions. But the way it looks is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it can be awful content and the worst topic in the world and still be artistic.
Right. So there's that. It looks beautiful. The costumes are amazing in the way they've done the colors. So the handmaids are red, the wives are blue, the Marthas are all gray. So you know exactly who's who in the ranking of things.
Uh-huh.
The way they've kind of gone back, it's this mix of being old Puritan stuff versus in the modern world. It's very weird. There's like all their clothes are hand sewn, you know. And what's also I noticed the second time watching it is Serena has this one cape that she wears, and it's got this high collar. And I realized once when she was like swinging it around and putting it on and walking up the stairs, I was like, that's like Darth Vader. Like, you know, it's totally like this sinister cape wearing villain. You know, it's perfect. Then all the acting, astonishing. I said it on the Emmy show that I want Yvonne Strahovski to win because as Serena this season, she was more evil and more villainous. And yet there are those little glimmers where you can tell she wants a normalish life back, you know? So it's a very weird plank that she walks and keeping all of that together. So I want Emily, what's her name? She's the girl from Gilmore Girls. What's her name?
You're talking to the wrong guy.
I know.
Sorry.
And Maura, who was on Orange Is the New Black, they all deserve it. But I think I've told you this week after week. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do what Elizabeth Moss is doing. The camera is seriously as close as this mic is to my face. You know, the camera is inches away from her face. When she's a handmaid, she's not wearing a stitch of makeup. And that's all on its own. But then they will be that close to her face for a minute or 2 minutes, and you will see her change from anger to sadness to confusion to hatred, whatever it is. Or when she's talking to the commander and she has to smile and then he will leave. And so then she goes into her anger and the shaking she does. And it's the most amazing performance I have ever seen of, honestly, the most amazing female character probably ever on television, because she is smart enough to keep herself alive, smart enough to keep her baby/children alive, smart enough to manipulate when she needs to and give in when she needs to. Like, she knows when to pick a battle and when not to.
Yeah.
And it's just, that character is amazing, and what she is doing with it and how they're filming it. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
Well, we've known for a while that Elizabeth Moss was kind of a special actress, right? I mean, everything she's done, the way she's done it, you know, the Mad Men, right? Started out, and it was all about John Hamm and Don Draper, right? And then as things progressed, it became, what you've told me, I haven't seen the whole series, but what you've told me is it became just as much about Peggy as it was about Don Draper. And that's hard to do for anyone, to kind of morph a series into, you know, having it come your way and just taking over.
I think that's probably, for me personally, all I cared about on that show is Peggy. We were introduced to Peggy on the very first episode. It was her first day of work. And within those few episodes, we saw, you know, she slept with what's his face, and so we were always on Peggy's trajectory just as much as we were Don's. It was just the difference of, I didn't care about Don so much anymore. I only cared about Peggy, and that probably happened midway through the series, where it was really, to me, it was hers to, you know, to finish up.
Sure, but as a casual observer, and I don't want to get off on Mad Men, but as a casual observer, seeing the advertising for Mad Men, in the beginning, it was all John Hamm. You know, a little bit of John Slattery, but it was all John Hamm. And then as the series progressed, it became, you know, much more, even Christina Hendricks, but Elizabeth Moss. She was the focus of a lot of the advertising. Yeah. So you and I first saw her in West Wing. And she had a great role in that too, even though it was very small. But it was, you know, there was still this female power to it. Of course, Peggy ended up ruling the world, so there was a lot of female power there. And I'm certain there are other people who could do this role. I can't imagine it at all, but it is hers, and it is now her. I mean, it's because when we go in those flashbacks and she gets to be
normal modern June, you see normal modern June, and she's fine, and she's light, or something's going on where they have to deal with, normal drama, but it's those moments, those up close moments where you can see what she's thinking. That is incredible, because I don't have enough expressions on my face to do that, but she does, and it's amazing.
Yes.
Is that going to come on the...
It probably is. Yeah, just in case you can hear it. That's our dog snoring.
Our dog got groomed today, so she's passed out, and she's
exhausted.
Next to me.
Yeah,
so if you're hearing a weird noise,
I just realized
let's pause for a second.
You can hear Snort Dog.
Oh, little baby. Anyway, that's her snoring. Yeah. So I just have, and look, I could go on and on about the story, and, usually John will be like, oh, you're going to go off and get sad or something. I am never sad during the show. I am always angry. It is pure red-faced anger every minute. I mean, I do a lot of crying, but it's usually crying out of anger, and, there's sadness in there, but it's just... and I was talking, so my sister's the only other person I know who watches it, and I wish I knew a man who watched it to talk to. So if there are any men out there who have watched this series and would like to talk to me about it, because there's no way a man is watching this the same way that a woman is. Not that men can't be angry about it and think that it's absurd and crazy.
I'm all of that, just having you describe it to me, let alone witnessing it.
Sure. But there's just no way, because you can't
the experience is different,
because
absolutely,
as being a woman in the world, you don't even know what it's like for us normally. So we are feeling that this is really a stone's throw away from our rights being taken away, that to watch it as a man, I would like to know what it is they're picking up on. Like, maybe a man is watching the Commander more than I am, because I can barely look at him. Not watching admiring, but watching, his mannerisms did that, or something that I'm not even paying attention to.
Yeah, I'm sure men would watch it differently, and I'm sure different guys would watch it differently.
Sure.
Right? I'm sure that, and this is going to piss you off too, I'm sure that there are guys in this world that will watch it go, oh, that's awesome.
Oh, totally. I know that.
Oh, if only.
Right.
I got to be honest. You may have to cut this out, but I got to be honest. The whole time you were describing the Commander, I could not get Mike Pence out of my head.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know who's playing that role. I don't want to know, but that's the vision I have.
Right.
Is Mike Pence.
It's Joseph Fiennes. And I hope he wins the Emmy, because he's so horrible.
Okay.
But it is that sort of thing. Like, at one point, the Commander's somewhere with the other commanders, and the guy goes, oh, she's in that false labor, and the men are all, having cigars and toasting each other. And one of the other commanders comes up and goes, well, our handmaid, I think, is past her prime, something like that. How do you like yours? And she's up there, like, about to give birth. And Fred goes, well, she's proven to be fruitful. And the other guy goes, yeah, not bad to look at, huh? And it's like, that's how I know most men, like, even in that wedding ceremony with Nick, most of those men took those little girls home and did what they needed to do and didn't even think about it. That's why Nick's character was so needed, because June needed someone, and we needed a man to be a decent person. It's one thing that Luke, her husband Luke, but he's up in Canada. Like, there's not a lot we can do with him. So for her to be there, and for us to have this man Nick, who helped her escape, has just been there for her every step along the way, and is constantly saying to her, I love you, I love you, I love you. Like, for her to feel love is, because when her baby's coming, she says to the Martha, like, I need you to be the godparent to my child. I'm not going to be here, and I need my child to know kindness. Like, imagine knowing you're leaving your kid in a house that is biblical, but won't know kindness. You know, it's and I don't want to get into the whole religion thing necessarily, but it's just that hypocrisy of, you know, using whatever you think the Bible says to do these things. And Serena being just as she would hit June, she would choke her when she was angry. Like, they literally were treating these handmaids just like the slaves were treated in our country. You know, there were no rights. They were property. You know, allowing people could come up to the handmaid and touch the belly. You know, it's not her belly. It's not her body. It's not like it's really that same parallel. And to think that could happen again today, you know, it can. I mean, we do have a good portion of the country that's close to this, you know, so.
That's a sobering thought.
Yes. I don't know what else to say about it.
I don't think you need to say much else.
Okay. I want people to know that this is an amazing show. And if you've heard people say, oh, it makes me so angry, or, oh, it's so disgusting, or it is, but it's necessary viewing more today than I think ever before. And one of the things that, you know, Elizabeth Moss talks about is that they started filming before the election, and how they would kind of joke around about, you know, when after the election, this is going to seem so strange because they thought the turnout was going to be different.
As did everyone.
Right. So when it turned out this way, and honestly, I tried to think of it the second season, like, what would it feel like watching this if the turnout was different? Like, would I be so angry, or would I just be enjoying this fictional show? You know?
So you would be angry. You would be as fired up as you always are after an episode. You would be, but you wouldn't be as sad because
and scared
and frightened that it's, you know, right now it's probably way too on the nose for everything that's going on right now. You know, it's very relatable, which is the scary and sad part.
Exactly.
You know, good acting, even if it's an awful topic or a really tough subject, you know, you can appreciate that, enjoy it and whatever. And if it's really well done, like this is, it'll fire you up and piss you off and all that stuff.
Right.
But it won't, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Right. It's just a show.
Right.
While this is
too close.
It sounds like it's, you know, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of parallels you can draw to past history and all that stuff. And, you know, I don't think we want to go there on this show, but some of these things are not that far off.
Right.
And people just don't understand that. You know,
yes.
That's the scary part.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it's a fantastic show. Both seasons on Hulu. Go watch it. I'm sure I will be watching again before the third season comes out.
You have convinced me to never watch this show.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I was hoping I was.
No. I it's so not my thing, and I don't need to be that infuriated for that long.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I've got other stuff that I enjoy, and I try to get done. That makes me so mad that.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay, so that's that. The other thing John wanted to talk about was our favorite movie lines that we quote all the time.
Oof. Do we have the energy left to do this?
Sure.
Okay. Hi.
So favorite movie line quotes.
Yeah, favorite movie line quote. Don't quote me on that. Favorite movie line quotes.
Yes.
I have some of my favorites.
Okay. What are they?
Okay. Let's get right to it.
So I think what you wanted to do with this is, you know, we do walk around and most days have a lot of quotes that we say all the time, but these are kind of all time, like not just ones that we use on a daily basis, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, a lot of them I don't use on a daily basis.
Okay.
But I think they're probably some of the best movie quotes ever.
Okay.
And so I have a horrible memory. We all know that by now.
Yeah.
And I didn't write anything down, so I'm going from memory. And as of right now, I can only think of like 3. So as we converse, I'm sure I'll think of more.
Okay.
But these are mine in no particular order. one of the biggest ones, and probably the biggest one, and it's going to be one that's probably towards the top of both of our lists, is we're going to need a bigger boat. No? Oh my God, how can you say that?
Well, Jaws is my favorite movie of all time. And I don't like reducing it to that line.
Well, that's not reducing it to that line.
It is for, like, there are others that I like.
From Jaws.
Yeah.
Such as?
The one I always do when I'm watching the movie that I do all the time is the girl who's pointing out the shark on the side. And
oh, yeah.
Shark! I don't know why it cracks me up that she stutters like that, so I laugh at her. And the whole time I watch it, I was like, shark!
I'm not even laughing at that. I'm laughing because of what we went through last weekend with Jurassic Park. And and the line you reminded me of that I had forgotten.
Oh, Tim!
Yeah.
No! Tim. No, Tim! I don't know why I love that line. When he's trying to revive Tim after being electrocuted.
Oh my God.
It's like, Tim! No, Tim!
And Danny's doing that like 5 minutes in advance, and I don't even know what it's from.
I know, he's looking at
I'm
me
like, what are you doing?
Just wait.
And she's like, give it a minute. Tim.
No, Tim.
No, Tim.
Oh, and then the shaky jello. I was doing the shaky jello, and you didn't get that one either.
No, I didn't get that one.
I kept going, have you seen this movie before?
Oh,
anyway, I always had to do things like 5 minutes before, so that's kind of more annoying. Yeah. Anyway.
So, another obvious one for me is Scarface.
Ugh.
Right?
So you're doing like the most popular. I thought you were doing your favorite.
Well, it is one of my favorites.
Okay.
It's you know, I don't watch the movie very often, but when I think of that movie, I think of that line.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I've never seen the movie.
Okay. One of these days.
No. I do not want to watch it. I would have watched it by now. My dad loves it. Nope.
Okay.
So anyway, the quote is,
say hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
Right?
And all I think of
yeah.
is Sisters and Bobby Moynihan going nuts with the cock and the stevia, the clown 10. You assholes. Scarface. Bobby Moynihan in that movie, Sisters, is the best ever.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because
I'm gonna draw something.
And what ends up being his girlfriend at the end.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my
Happy
God.
birthday.
What? Yeah, his entire run on SNL. I didn't really, none of his stuff really jumps out at me, but man, after he's left SNL, there's no F in SNL. Yeah.
Okay, we have to talk. We can't just sit here and laugh. Anyway, yes.
We need a laugh after that freaking hour on Handmaid's Tale.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, man.
Okay, so say hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
okay.
what I've done a couple. What are yours?
Well, I was going off of like what I kind of use, and this goes back to my childhood. I think I quote more things from my childhood than later years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny when I think of the podcast we did with my cousin Courtney, and she was talking about all 80s stuff and all the 80s quotes. I think that's why, because we just did it so much back then.
Mm-hmm.
So, Airplane, there's a million there, right?
Sure.
Shirley. Stop calling me Shirley.
Uh-huh.
What's a hospital? It's a big building with, like all the different quotes from there. You can't, the jive talking, there's too many.
Yep.
Drinking problem.
Sure.
Pick the wrong day to quit sniffing glue. So Airplane's a big one.
Okay.
This is going to be a weird one, but it was a family thing, and my aunt still quotes a lot, but Romancing the Stone. And here's the biggest reason why it was in my head when I was writing my list was on Housewives, the New York Housewives. They just went to Cartagena, Colombia on this week's episode.
Okay.
And Romancing the Stone, they go to Cartagena, and one of the lines was always, Michael Douglas says, "What hotel are you staying at?" Kathleen says, "Hotel Cartagena. What do you care?" And that's just a quote that, always came out. Plus, there was always the alligators. "Oh, look at those snappers, will ya?" And then when they're leaving on the boat, "Your mother, my mother, soon, how soon?" Like, see, Romancing the Stone. Who's watched Romancing the Stone anytime in the last 20 years? But I can quote the movie.
Well, certainly not I.
Yeah. Also, all the vacations. Well, not Vegas. Vacation, European vacation, Christmas vacation. Big things in my family. Lots of quotes from all of them. I'm not even certain I could get started because honestly, it'll take you through all the movies.
Okay.
So those are big ones. The one I thought about you and I is the thing with the guy in the place.
Yep.
From Ocean's 11.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, so this might be also a good place to kind of, this ties in a little bit. We have set up an Etsy store, an Etsy shop. It's all t-shirts that we're creating.
Yeah.
And all the t-shirts have to do with TV and movies. And some of these have to do with our favorite movie lines. So one of them is "The Mustache is Rattled."
Yep.
That's a line from the movie Blended with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
Where they're watching the baseball game and Dan Patrick looks at the pitcher and says, "The mustache is rattled."
The mustache is rattled.
Yes, after getting the stink eye. So we walk around saying that a lot, which is weird.
Yep.
So that's why it became a t-shirt on our Etsy store. So there's a few things like that you could go, like you hear John say "Calm Down Mustard" all the time, which is from a commercial, not a movie. We've got a t-shirt of that. So anyway, the shop's name is Three Pup Migos. PUPMIGOS. Three Pup Migos. That's what we call ourselves with our dog. Instead of Three Amigos, we're the Three Pup Migos. You go to Etsy, you search the shop name, Three Pup Migos, and you'll see all of our t-shirts come up. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay.
Your next one.
Yeah, I said these were in no particular order, so I'm going to start using the ones that we use or that I use.
Yeah.
Right. The first one that comes to mind is kind of obscure, but from Wedding Singer, when they're on the plane and Adam Sandler's explaining his what's going on, and Billy Idol is like that whatever he says, and Adam Sandler's like, "Well, Billy Idol gets it."
Yeah, he says that on a daily basis.
I say that all the time.
Yep.
When somebody finally understands what I'm saying, I say, "Well, Billy Idol gets it."
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't use this one so much around here, but I do say it at work fairly every so often. From Shawshank Redemption, "Get busy living or get busy dying," when things are going south at work, or somebody's having a tough time and things have to get done and they're just not getting done. We got to get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah. I have a lot of Friends quotes. I say a lot of things from Friends, not just a hat rack, my friend.
That's she
from
pokes
Friends.
herself in the eye.
Yes. Joey said that on Friends. Yeah.
I wonder if that's where I got that from.
Yes, it is.
From
me saying it. Yeah.
Well, I don't say "not just a hat rack, my friends." I say "not just a pretty hat rack."
That's because you messed it up.
No, I added. I figured I added, but I didn't know. I didn't know where the original came from.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one from Friends we say all the time.
The macadamia nut.
That's not a macadamia.
Something else.
Yeah. Hello Vegas.
Hello Vegas.
Yeah.
That must be my alcohol and beers.
Yeah, a lot of them from that episode actually.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of them from that one scene.
Yeah. Well, that whole scene. Joey lives with a duck.
Say that about our dog all the time. Anyway, what else?
I don't think I say a lot of quotes that much anymore. So the ones that are ingrained in me are the ones I've already mentioned, where it just is like a natural part of my speech now. So I don't think like new ones haven't kind of infiltrated themselves.
Yeah. It's funny because I know I use a fair amount, but I can't think of them right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back to it, and if you come up with more, we'll just hit on it every week.
I think there's one I use, something that Hugh Grant says in Notting Hill.
Oopsie daisy.
Well, that too, but nobody says that except for little schoolgirls.
Not even then.
And not even then. No, I think it's the line about "nothing awaits for me at home except a masturbating Welshman."
Yeah.
which doesn't really make a lot of sense
No.
in most settings, but I still use it.
Works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else?
I don't think so. I think I really should write these down, the ones I want to use.
Yeah. So then we were going to do another segment where when we don't have a lot going on during the week, we were going to come up with an actor and then come up with our favorite film of that actor's. We haven't named the segment yet. John wanted to have the word corner in it for some reason. Every time he talks about this podcast, we can call it John's Corner. We can call it Actor Corner. I don't know. He must have,
for some reason, I'm up on the corner.
Watched too much old television to come up with that. So anyway, so we thought about this week we would go through Sandra Bullock's films and see which one of hers is the favorite. And basically came up with this because my mom and I had this conversation last week.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your favorite Sandra Bullock movie?
Yeah, so that's a tough one because there are a lot of movies of hers I like.
Yes.
Yeah, the list is pretty long and distinguished, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Speed.
Yeah.
It's a throwback, and that's the first movie I saw her in.
Okay.
And I think that's part of it, why it's that one. But also, just I really like her character, and I really like the chemistry that she and
Do you remember her character's name?
Wildcat. Give me a second. I'll
Okay.
probably get it.
You remember his name?
Jack.
Yeah. She says his name a million times, and then he says hers a million times, but obviously you don't remember.
Mm-mm. I only.
So you didn't see Demolition Man before Speed?
I did not see Demolition Man before Speed. I saw it after.
I love Demolition Man.
I did too. I thought that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and her character being so bubbly and not by the book.
In Demolition Man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Not Speed.
Right.
Yeah, Demolition Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go with Speed.
I'm gonna go with Speed.
Okay.
There are a lot of more recent movies of hers that I really like, but
yeah,
there's just so many of them.
There are so many of them, and that's one of the things. Like if Speed's on, I will watch it.
Mm-hmm.
If Demolition Man's on, I will watch. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a movie of hers that I don't stop and watch. 2 Weeks Notice, The Miscongenialities, The Heat with Melissa McCarthy, 28 Days. The Proposal.
The Proposal's a big one.
Yeah, totally watch that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Practical Magic was just on last week. I watched it. I love that movie. I mean, The Net, which they don't play much anymore, but I loved that movie when it came out. So yeah, there's not, and we were talking, the one I haven't seen of hers.
And this is my second favorite. I just realized it. Go ahead.
You haven't seen either.
What?
The one she won the Oscar for.
Oh,
The
Blind
Side.
Side. Oh, yeah. I thought you were gonna say the other one.
Oh no, I haven't. I don't like sports movies, so I haven't seen that one. What were you gonna say?
Gravity.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, I didn't think you had.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Oh well, okay, whatever.
That's
my second favorite of hers, and it's the Tom Hanks syndrome in Castaway, when that one person is the focus of the movie for such a long period of time. You really get to.
Yeah, I didn't like her character, so I didn't like it. I thought it was, stupid. So.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Yeah, and
right?
that movie was one of them.
No, her character. She had some bad things happen. She's a good person.
You don't know.
I don't know. You're absolutely right.
That's
but I
right.
don't think you should hold it against her that she could complain about her husband dying and that sort of thing.
I don't remember any of that.
Oh my God. Okay.
How
do I remember that?
I don't know. Anyway, Can I go now?
I don't know why you have me do so much talking.
I don't know either. So I have a hard time choosing as well. So I kind of have to choose two, with one having a skosh higher importance in my life than the other.
Okay.
So the lower one is While You Were Sleeping. I was obsessed with that movie. I was obsessed with Chicago, really. But I would watch that movie I would put it on every night before going to bed and watch it. I know every moment of that film. And it's still, I will still just watch it anytime I can. It's just one. I don't know why. It's just one of those. And again, her character in that I really liked, and I don't know. But if I have to, I'm gonna go with that. And only tiny, slightly higher than that is Hope Floats.
Okay.
And most people are gonna go, "Oh yeah, of course, because you're a chick." And no.
Is that how most people talk?
Yep.
Okay.
No, there's a very personal part of that movie that is very much paralleled my life, the little girl in it. So I actually don't watch that scene when I watch the movie now, but I will watch the rest. And I just, Harry Connick Jr., I mean, come on.
Sure.
You can't get past that.
Yeah,
So,
at his prime, probably.
oh, no.
No?
No. Again, just the whole story, the woman finding herself and the mom, and then the mom dies, it's just a great all around feel good movie. Not for some of us.
Says the chick.
Yeah, well, it's, it's really more for personal reasons.
Yeah.
That I have to say that one's my favorite, but then I'll go While You Were Sleeping, and then probably The Proposal.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
That's right up there for me.
Yeah.
There's so much of that movie.
Ryan Reynolds, really. I mean, for me, my favorite scene of the movie is because of him. So, anyway, anything else to say about that?
No, I think when it comes to Sandra Bullock, you really can't go wrong.
That's for sure.
I mean, if she's in it, it's going to be at least watchable.
Yeah. I mean, even so, All About Steve.
Yeah,
which
even
people panned and hated, and I find it quite enjoyable.
Yeah,
she cracks me up in that movie.
I do too. I don't see what the big stupid deal was.
It's a great message. Like, she's just this overtly nice person, and she gets like hassled for being. I mean, she gets stalkery too, but like, it's a really good mess. I don't know. I really do like that movie. So people can.
She's a nice stalker with a good message.
Yeah, stalker with the heart of gold.
There it is.
Yeah.
There is the title.
So, I feel weird that I didn't talk. I mean, I talked a lot, but that we only really covered 2 or 3 things. It's weird.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are going on vacation tomorrow. I hope to watch a lot of stuff.
I do too.
Hopefully. And then we'll be back next week with more insights.
Hopefully more, or hopefully some.
Hopefully some, yes. So I think that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening again this week.
Gosh, we're sorry.
Again, go to watchingmystories.com. Reach out to us if there's anything you want to talk about, even if you want to talk about Handmaid's Tale again. Again, if you're a guy and you watch, love to talk to you. Or tell me what you're watching this summer and what's on, because, man, my TV is low. We will be back next week. Go ahead and subscribe and rate us if you can, wherever you listen. And that's it.
And don't forget to check out our Etsy store.
Oh, yeah.
3 Pupmigos.
That's right.
A bunch of cool t-shirts there, movies and television. And if you have a t-shirt you wish was out there so you could get it, and you've never seen it, send us a suggestion, and if we make it, we'll send you a free t-shirt.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. And there is a link to the Etsy store on our website, watchingmystories.com. Yep. So you can go straight there and then go to the Etsy store at that point. That's it. So Sounds until good. Next time, I'll be watching my stories.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good week.